Hi guys, my name is Custa from the Los Angeles Valiant, and I'm here to answer questions from Twitch for the All Access Pass. Alright, let's get this started. We got Kobayashi Senpai. If you could spend a day with any of the support characters, who would it be and why? Geez, that's a tough one. Probably Zenyatta. You know, seems like a cool dude, I guess. I don't know, it's sort of the most interesting one out of the bunch. Thank you for the question. Symph, question from you. How did you get the name Custa? I was in high school and I was eating a custard tart, like the pastry, and a friend of mine thought it'd be funny to push into my face as I went for a bite. You know, it wasn't as funny, but you know, they called me Custard for the day, so I embraced it and I called myself Custard on Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne. So I made my name Custard. I then went to Custado. And then I realized a couple of years later that's stupid, and then I reduced it to Custa. So now I'm Custa, and that's how I got my name. Thank you very much. Then we got Camsy34. When you're playing support, what is something you find helpful for other support players to be doing? I assume you mean as the secondary support player on the team. Generally just working together. You need to heal your team, but the most important thing is that you work together, and that if one of you gets in trouble, you can help the other. So always be doing that, and your other support will definitely heal you back. All right. Then we got Dirtpad with the Twitch question. Who would you say was the toughest team you've fought against? I think at the end of Stage 3, NYXL at the stage playoffs was probably the hardest thing we've ever had to play against. We were pretty prepared for that match. We were confident, but New York were just a step above us in that match, and that's probably the toughest team that I've ever had to play against, and felt like pretty much unwinnable. Then we got Mikey DWSR. Having been traded to Valiant mid-season, how did you handle the stress of stepping into the shot caller position with new teammates? It was sort of something that I defaulted into, just sort of the style that I am. So I do a lot of calling. So it wasn't a huge amount of stress. The integration was a little interesting and something different, but everyone was really welcoming on the team. So it wasn't too bad. Everything worked out pretty well. And, I'm really happy to be a part of Valiant. Okay, then we got the Hypocrite with what kind of thought processes go into shot calling as main support. The most important thing for a main support to be calling is pretty much the things that other people don't want to waste their time thinking about. By that I mean you want to be tracking ults, you want to be calling as many positions as you can, you want to be calling just sort of team movements. But at the end of the day, as a main support, your job is not to call as much the engages, as much of, how the team should be fighting, because that's generally the tanks and the DPS's job, because they understand how to do it and they can control that. So it's the best way to do it as a main support. Sir Zerp with the what's your favorite restaurant back home? I think it's not a restaurant, it's more of a style of restaurant. I miss bakeries. They don't really have Australian kind of bakeries in the US. It's the worst thing ever. It makes me consider going back home every day. But yeah, bakeries, just a meat pie, sausage rolls, all that is the thing I miss the most about Australia, and definitely my favorite thing about Australia. All right, then we got Kiweru. Which support hero best complements your Mercy play? Generally, whichever's in meta. When you play Mercy, you generally want something like a Zenyatta or something that adds more utility to the team, because Mercy focuses a lot on the healing. So, Zenyatta's probably the best character to play in conjunction with Mercy. And then we got Itos. What is happening here? Itos, if you could eat one type of sandwich for the rest of your life, what would it be? My manager, Mike, would kill me if I didn't say I was a Jersey Mike sub. So I'm going to go with a Jersey Mike sub. And I'm going to go with a number 8 Clubhouse sub with bacon and Chipotle mayo. It's the best thing, and I can live off of that. But, yeah. Edit which, 8. What is your favorite cartoon? I don't really watch a lot of cartoons. I would say my favorite one is probably Rick and Morty. It's the normie kind of answer, but yeah, it's my favorite cartoon right now. I'm really looking forward to the next season. Contra with the next question. What was the transition from Australia to the US like? So I actually started my move from Australia to Canada at the end of 2000 at the start of 2016. start of 2016. I moved to Vancouver with a friend. So I was there for a year, and then I was in Toronto for another 7 months before I came to the US. But honestly, the US and Canada are very similar for the most part. It was definitely something different because it was the first time I was moving away from home alone. You know, moving away from family, friends, and all that kind of stuff. So sort of getting me out of my comfort zone. But I had a lot of fun. It's been an amazing experience, and I'm happy to be here. So I'm happy. Hype, player. What are your tips for improving what are your tips for improving the most, both as an organized team and just in ranked? I think the best way to improve in general is just always focusing on the mistakes that you're making. I know in ranked and when you're playing on a team, it's very easy to shift blame, make up excuses of why you're not doing better, but you can always improve on your own. You can always be better. So if you just always focus on your own gameplay and how to be better and see how other people are doing it, then you'll improve over time. Avrak OW, who in the OWL intimidates you the most in a match? It's actually funny because I guess there's two answers, because it used to be Soon. I used to hate playing against Soon. Soon, as a Tracer, was the most annoying player I ever had to play against. He's just always behind you. He's always annoying you. So it used to be Soon. But I guess now, I don't know. There's a couple of players, but one doesn't stand out. I would say the number one would just be Soon. So I'm glad he's on my team now. Please never leave me. Marilage, how do you keep your cool in such intense matchups? You sort of get used to sitting on stage and the intense matchups. It's definitely hard when everything happens, but the most important thing is just, we've been playing Overwatch for a very long time. Once you've played that much, you can pretty much go on autopilot. Everything is natural. Everything's easy when you're on stage. It's just about focusing and doing the little things and making sure you execute to your best efforts. So honestly, I've played and I've watched, and it's definitely a lot more stressful to watch Overwatch than it is to play it. Watching it is definitely terrifying. Royal_B, how have you been preparing for the Overwatch World Cup while balancing practice for your playoff run? Fortunately, I didn't have to put in a ton of trialing within the team. They were pretty confident with going into me for the team, so I didn't have to do a ton of trialing coming towards the end of Stage 4 and start of the practice. We've been doing a little bit of scrimmaging and focusing a little bit on, working out where the team is at for the World Cup, but not too much, especially now that, Overwatch League finals are here and we're, competing. So, Vivacity with the question, what do you think is a key characteristic of shot callers? I think the key characteristic is just always being unbiased. It's very easy as a shot caller to be biased around yourself and focus on yourself and how to make your life easier, but you need to make sure that you're always doing best for the team. Make sure you're always working with others, and also listen to outside what everyone else is saying. If you just listen to yourself and just don't listen to anyone else and like anyone else's ideas or plans, it's not going to last for very long. So make sure you're always working with other people. Matthew Kenshiro, what is the best thing about Australia that you would recommend to visit? Firstly, I'm going to go back to the bakeries. Definitely go to a bakery. They're everywhere in every town. So go check out those. But otherwise, just going to the beaches is probably the thing that is very unique to Australia. I haven't been to a beach that compares with an Australian beach for the most part. So go to the beaches. And if you go down the East Coast, there's a lot of amazing things to see. So would recommend. Put it on your bucket list. No Whale 18. Hi, Custa. What is your favorite American snack food? Honestly, I really like wings. Wings are a kind of a thing in Australia, but nowhere near as prominent. It's a very American thing, and I really enjoy wings. So just gnawing on a couple of wings here and there is really good. So yeah, I like going to restaurants and getting those. And Parental Turtle. Last question. What is your best dance move? Do I look like I can dance? That's just not a thing. So, yeah, I got nothing for you. I'm sorry. Okay, I think that is it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, come check us out on Friday.